Justin Smith.
Brandon Molson.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody. We are from Tracks and Sign. It's a beautiful Monday morning, watching some snow fall out the window. We're thinking of what we should talk about today because Justin and I have several conversations almost every single day about all sorts of different random stuff, but what might our viewers or listeners care about? And it's a particular time of year where, we dabble out there on the ice and love getting on the hard water and trying to pull some things through the hole. But at the same time, it is still a weird time in between big fish, like fishing runs in different fisheries around the state. Or, of course, what we talk about often is whitetail, turkey, and duck hunting. So given that kind of that period of time in between those seasons, it's a good time to reflect. And I know we've been reflecting a lot and talking about property management and whatnot and getting out in the woods and nature and enjoying all that has to offer, looking for tracks and sign. But today I thought we could talk about some of the equipment upgrades that we've done over the years, and what we're potentially going to be doing or hoping to be getting for this coming seasons. And I'm not just saying whitetail, but all across the board. So today we'll talk about what we've done in the past, what we use this year, some experiences, good, bad, ugly, and some of our intentions for either getting this coming season or a season ahead. Because everybody knows new equipment costs money. And we wish we had unlimited amounts, but we'll talk about some ways to get around things and at least dabble and figure out what you like. What do you think about that, Justin?
That sounds like a fun conversation. My mind's already racing.
Yeah. Oh, I know. As soon as I start thinking about it, it's like, well, just some of the upgrades I've made in the recent year, I guess. There's some things that I made for the long haul. So some piece of equipment I plan on dying with, and I'll use every single year. You just buy the best of the best, and other stuff. It's like, well, I need to try it, or I need to get into this, and so I'll buy like an entry level, or a used, or something to at least get me out there in the action, and then I really can decide what that next upgrade lifetime piece of equipment, or as long as you can get out of the best piece of equipment possible, but making a decision first by trying. You want to start off? What are some things? And you've been upgrading pieces of equipment at least for the wilderness longer than I have. What are some things you started with, either got handed down, or you bought early and now you're deciding to upgrade this year?
First thing that pops into my head. So I got some hand-me-down camo clothing from my dad, and it's
what it look like?
It's a one-piece like full body suit.
Like, was it the stuff from like the Army surplus back in the day, or
no? It's
modern day pattern.
Yeah, modern day pattern. It's a redhead full body suit camo. It was in
Pro stuff.
Yeah, Bass Pro. Yep. It was in great condition when it was given to me. It was actually because my dad bought brand new stuff, and then he happened to bring this one piece with him, and I forgot my camo coat at the time, and so he gave me this. He just was like, "Here, take this," and it ended up, staying mine, and it's nice, but first off, I'd rather have like bibs and a coat, especially like a reversible coat. I definitely think it can be a little bit warmer. It's definitely served its purpose, but when we're sitting out there.
Wait, Justin, reversible coat. What do you mean by that?
So
like reversible yellow or orange and camo, or white and camo, or what do you mean by reversible?
Yeah, so I would say probably what I have in mind. Where I want to hunt, I would say reversible with orange and then camo. The white sounds great.
Okay.
I'm not doing enough with it yet, but yeah, I think the orange, because I don't have, like, I have an orange vest that I put over and an orange hat, but I think the reversible orange would serve me better. But I mean, when we're in later season and it's getting into the teens, 20s, it gets cold. So I need to upgrade my 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 camo gear. I need to be warmer because I for instance, like I had some old muck boots that some really nice muck boots. Is it lacrosse? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I upgraded to another pair of lacrosse boots, and it's been an absolute game changer. Like I can wear one pair of nice socks, put these bad boys on. I think they're at like 1,600 or 1,800 the insulin rate.
Insulate.
Insulate. Yep. So they're and they weren't cheap. That's another thing, Brandon. When we're talking about this stuff, man, I'm like, man, how many more clients do I need? How many more jobs do I have to pick up? Stuff's not cheap, man.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's just a couple $100, couple $100, and then it's like, well, to get the real system, you have to spend at least $1,000, $2,000, and then it's a very small percentage of the overall top quality equipment or accessories that you need.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna start with that.
How much? What about boots? So you you're staying the same brand, and I'm with you there. So that was one thing. So I was out there with either I was borrowing boots when I was trying to get out into the do some scouting, looking for tracks and sign, or I was trying to rough it in some cheap like snow boot type deal that are quote unquote camo that were from Meyer or local store, and my feet would just get brutal. And so let's say I'm walking the dike system out at a managed DNR place the day before opening duck, and we walk several miles. Well, if you're in an uncomfortable pair of muck boots or any kind of shoe wear, it's brutal. But you need something that's waterproof, whatever. So I went out and I bought my first pair of muck boots, and they're good, and they keep you warm and everything. They're a little loud when I walk. I think it's just the wider pattern, but they're not. I need to upgrade those, and I am going to get a pair of lacrosse. I really like the ones that you have with the adjustable top part, because right now
back,
I want to say that it's just like because I'm ripped and my calves are just busting out with muscle, but it's not really the case.
Dude, you do have some big calves though.
I do.
Linebacker calves.
It's just it's not from working out, I promise that. And so when I have even more than a sock layer on, I have to put the rest of my pants over the muck boot, which kind of it defeats the purpose. You're tromping along, and all of a sudden, boom! You step in a water. Yeah, your foot's not wet, but your pants are wet. And so then when you get back to the truck and you take them off, so it just kind of defeats the purpose. I need something that opens up in the calf, like I noticed on yours, and you could stuff it all in there and then adjust the top accordingly.
So
how much do a pair of boots that run?
Somewhere like north of $350 to about $400. So those were around $379.
And you feel you can have those forever?
I would say not forever. I would say, okay, well, this actually brings me a good point about this. So, for instance, when we were down in Ohio and we're walking up the ravine, up the gas line, and those pricker bushes that are all over the place. Yeah. So one of the reasons, and I'm with you on having to wear your pants over them, it defeats the purpose because they do get wet. But one of the reasons why I personally decided to wear my camo over those boots is when you're walking through the woods and those pricker bushes, dude, it'll tear the lining on the outside lining on those muck boots like so fast.
Oh.
Yeah. So to answer your question, like how long do I think they'll last? I mean, it really depends on the conditions that you're, when you're wearing them, where you're wearing them in the woods. Cause my prior pair of lacrosses that I had them for about 5 years, but they're beat up, tore up.
Well, 5 years and wearing them hard throughout the season and pre-season, like, the whole work time in between seasons. 5 years, that's a solid amount of time to get use out of a good pair of muck boots.
Oh yeah, like better than I would anticipate based on I know when I'm I know what I'm doing with those boots on. So Nick Nick from the chainsaws, or just little things like that. Like, I mean, just the wear and tear. But yeah, so around somewhere between $350, $400, I believe. Which for buying footwear at that price, in my brain is like, that's crazy. But you do pay for what you get for. Also, I've always had a tendency to have very cold hands and feet. So knowing that those boots, even when we were down in Ohio last time, like, I got cold at some parts, like some parts of my body, but my feet never got cold. So, I mean,
that's worth.
Yeah, that's worth
There's
it.
not even like really a price tag you can put on something like that.
Yeah, for definitely. Well, I mean, what about you, Brandon?
And to back up real quick,
yeah,
my when I'm saying, like, I literally, my current boots, I can't put anything besides my stock inside my boots. So if I'm wearing bibs, and the outside of hunting bibs, of course, are meant to get dirty and wet and whatever else, but inside I do like to wear like a pair of long johns, and then let's say just a pair of sweatpants. It would be nice to have those sweatpants inside the boot, and then the bibs on the outside. So then when I get rid of the bibs, I'm still wearing sweatpants or whatever with my normal shoes once I go put them back on. But right now you can't put anything inside of my boots. So I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I didn't think about the prickers though, and that is a brutal. You start getting into that thicket and that bedding area and stuff like that, or just any kind of transition. There's prickers all over the place. Terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they suck.
All
right. So Brandon,
I upgraded.
Yeah, I was just say, what about you? What any outerwear besides boots that you're looking
outerwear? Oh, here's a funny story. So I was going. When was I? I went hunting. But then a couple of years ago, a buddy and I were going fishing, and we needed, it was supposed to rain that weekend. And so, I just went out and spent a bunch of money on fishing gear and, new pole and stuff like that. It was like a starter pole for salmon. And, which it was just not a good deal. So I show up with what I thought was like, okay, I can at least get to the weekend. My buddy looks at me, he's like, no, I'm very grateful that he brought double everything, because I think he had a feeling that I was just going to come very not prepared. And so I show up, no joke, Justin, with so I have those ponchos that you can get for like watching sporting events when you're outside.
Yes.
Like, it's basically like a glorified garbage bag over you. That was my raincoat. And so I got that.
Oh,
and then a rod. It was like a 2-piece from like the 60s that had this. It was atrocious. And he gave me his Cabela's. It was 8-weight. And then he took and he had a 9-weight. So that worked. I did go on Facebook Marketplace, and I've gotten crazy deals, brand new stuff.
Real quick, the stuff that you've picked up from Facebook Marketplace in the last 2 years is insane.
Yeah, no, I've gotten very lucky. Spent a lot of time on that marketplace, but very lucky on a lot of the purchases that I picked up. But then some of the ones early on were funny. It was just to like get me in the game. So it was, oh my gosh, there's a camo shirt for $5 at a porch pickup. So I would go pick stuff like that up. I still wear a lot of that stuff today, and it's just random. But one time I picked up this box, and it had I was going pheasant hunting, and it had a game vest in there, and the box was $20, and I had to go drive about a half hour for this box. And it had a pheasant coat. It had like a trap shooting coat, for all your shells and whatnot. It had a vest. It had 2 vests. It had some bibs. It had some camo, like Army surplus camo. Like back in the day, it had a weird smell to it. the whole thing was Miranda, my wife, swears that when I brought that box into the house, the basement, the whole entire basement, has never smelled the same ever since. And I didn't even think it was that bad. It was just, this older gentleman. He was going to a retirement home. His son was clearing out the basement, and this box that's been laundered several years ago has just been sitting in this basement forever in this brown box, but full of all sorts of hunting and whatever attire. And so I went there just for that one vest, but I ended up pulling out all sorts of stuff. And one thing in there also was a pair of rain gear, like pants and a jacket. I wore it one time, and it was like made of rubber, basically, like really thin. They wouldn't make it out of this material now, but it was really loud, and I have shorter legs, and so I'm wearing the pants, and the first day that I wear them, just completely rip them totally apart, shredded. Jacket still exists, but the zipper's broken. But it got me out there, and so this year, you and I were salmon fishing with Jimmy, and it was raining real hard. Jimmy was nice enough to let me wear his one of his coats, and actually that coat that I had there was from that box.
Dang.
And so this year, I said, you know what? If we're going to go on a big fishing trip, which we're going to go on a number of them this year, I need to get some way better rain gear.
Yep.
So I did. I got one of those First Light rain jackets, and I got I forgot what it's called, but it's the one that's like, it's the best one on their site, and it's for if you are up in the Alaskan whatever and it's freezing cold, or if you're down in New Mexico in the desert, you could be wearing the same thing and it will adjust to your body temperature and do all sorts of cool things. It's really thin, it's easy to pack, but I plan on having that thing for quite some time.
Yes. Yeah, it's a super nice
coat. That's my I love that coat.
Yeah, it's so nice.
First Light has some real good stuff on there. Those long johns that zip, if you're doing some overnight stuff, packing it out in the woods, that's great. Where you just want to keep your boots on. They have bibs. They have all sorts of stuff. So that's solid. What about you? Any other outerwear?
Oh yeah, rain gear, especially going into getting some rain gear for going into the walleye season, and then we're also going on a chasing some chrome on the river on the west side of the state coming up here in a few months. So I'm definitely investing in some rain gear. I bought new gloves for hunting season, which were an incredible investment. Really nice gloves. They were expensive.
I like your gloves. Those are the ones that like your fingers can that like the mitten can pull back. Is it Velcro or what does it do?
Yeah, so I had a pair of Velcro, dude, and it was so loud. Like it, so this one, it actually folds back and there's like this really nice elastic strap. But the thing that really, there's a bunch of different ones out there, but these ones, they fit very tight to your palm and your first half of your fingers. So when your tips of your fingers are exposed, it just feels like warmer. Like it feels like it's holding the heat into the gloves. And so your fingertips at some capacity do get a little chilled, but majority of my hand is kept warm. Yeah, they're really nice. But I need to buy another pair of those types of gloves, but for fishing, because I currently have a pair, but they got destroyed just from use and abuse over the last couple of years. Those black ones that I wear when we go fly fishing.
Yeah.
It has like the rubber, almost like the rubber on the inside of the palm. So when you're grabbing like lures and your pole, it's like, it's non-slick. They're really nice. So I need to buy another pair of those gloves. I am going to be, I don't know if we're transitioning here, but I do need to get a new 8-weight fly pole. I currently, I have a 9-weight. So I have a 9-weight reel, 5-weight reel, and then I have a 5-weight pole. So I need to upgrade my pole for the larger, especially for the chrome season and the salmon season. So yeah, when we
Yep.
when we went last year to the Pier Marquette, I was using a 9-weight reel on a 5-weight pole, hoping that I was going to
Hey,
latch
it
onto a
got you
salmon.
out there.
Hey, it did, Brandon. I mean, that's how I view this. I'm like, okay, like, I was kind of spent on, the funds of how much money I invested in other things for outdoor gear. And I was like, you know what? Like, I just can't do it this trip. So I did what I had, and, I got out there, and it was a great time.
Well, they get you though, because so for everybody, I forgot if we mentioned this before, but when we went on that salmon trip this past year, we stayed in the cabins on the Orvis property in Baldwin, Michigan. Phenomenal facility. It's pretty cool. They've got a I don't know, half dozen or dozen little cabins that are very reasonable, like low hundreds per night. And I think that was peak season, and they're like, "Wow, it's peak season. It's going to be $130." I'm like, "Well, that's awesome because there's like 3 or 4 beds in this thing, and your own parking spot, fire. The whole thing is awesome." Or you could stay in the main cabin, which was all rented out by actually the Orvis manager down where we live. But you go there, and you're in the middle of a bunch of different entrances or walk or access points to the river, and every morning you wake up and you either start your day in the Orvis shop or you end your day in the Orvis shop, or at some point you're going to the Orvis shop, and whether you need it or not, it's just, oh, well, give me 5 of those blood sucking leeches. Oh, give me 5 more of those blood suck, but I want the pink and purple ones. I want the yellow and orange ones over here, and egg patterns, and give me some caddis flies and or stone fly. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff in there, and each of them are 2, 3, and up. And then I need some new leader, or I need this. And every single time you're walking out of there, all of a sudden I look and it's me, you, and Jimmy in line with a handful of stuff. Mind you, we already did this prior to the trip. We don't even need the stuff that's in our hands, but we're just so excited about it. And we're buying stickers so every single time you walk in and out of the thing, it's $100 to $200 just in random fishing gear. So, yeah, it's difficult. And it's what's funny is just one trip inside the Orvis store could have bought
a pole,
almost a whole rod. Yeah, the whole rod.
I know, seriously. I think about that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah, but when you're sitting there faced with a decision to buy a rod, it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe next year. But no, I'll go in there and spend $150 on flies, and I'm about to go lose all over the river.
Literally lose.
It's so funny.
Over. Yeah, it is. I think about that kind of stuff all the time.
I did the same thing. I brought a salmon rod or a salmon. I have an 8-weight Clearwater Orvis rod reel combo, and I took the reel off and I put a salmon reel on, another Orvis one, and it was actually borrowed from Brent. It was a real nice setup that he did. And then but I've been trout fishing quite a bit, and so I've been using that 8-weight, like the Clearwater setup, but you just don't feel like those brown trout will come up to the pattern and they might test it a little bit, and they're not gonna, and you won't feel it on an 8-weight. You won't feel that bite or that nibble or whatever before needing to set the hook. So I'm sure I've been missing a ton of opportunities to set line, but that was one of the upgrades I made is a new 5-weight, like specifically a trout rod and reel for this coming season. Game changer though. Used it one time so far, caught a fish, and pumped. I think I'm going to bring both just in case. And I'm sure you will too when we go out fishing, because God forbid, like the last salmon run we went on, when what was it, day 1, evening 1, and I get snagged, and the top section of my my pole starts going down the snagged line into this area that is way over our heads.
Like one of the deepest areas where we were fishing, and of course it happens there. Oh my gosh.
Day 1, I'm like, well, I'm going to be buying a new pole today. Oh,
I mean, Brandon, when we went on that trip, you saw the bin that I packed. I had no idea what to expect. I brought like the whole house. You
Yeah,
know that.
Justin comes in. He's like about to load my truck with a dolly to carry this. He's got like a forklift putting in this bin full of clothes and everything, and backpacks and duffel bags. And I'm like, man, we're going for 2 days.
Hey, I was
It
prepared,
was
but
awesome.
it's funny that I say that. I was trying to be prepared, but I was not prepared. Like I got soaked when it rained, and then I got super cold, and then I was like, "Oh man, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. We still got like 2.5 hours to the landing." I was like, "Oh man," I was like, everything that's in that bin, and I did not pack warm enough clothes.
Well, this year we'll know.
Oh yeah, and it's funny you say like not when you're using like an 8 weight for the trout. And I'm not trying to get sidetracked here, but you're using an higher weight for the type of fishing you're doing. And and I'm with you, Brandon. Like sometimes you just got to kind of make do with what you have just to get out there in the elements and have some fun. But it's like the whole time you're out there, you're like, I know I have the wrong equipment, and I wonder if these fish, they have to know I have the wrong equipment. Like, I don't know. I
It's
think
never
about
the
that kind of stuff.
operator's fault.
Yeah,
Definitely the equipment.
Never the operator.
100%.
100 always. 100%.
At least in my case, Justin.
Yeah. So, all right. So we dabbled a little bit in some outerwear, some fishing. We got a couple of other seasons, Brandon. So what else are you upgrading this year?
Oh, you know what? I have a couple traditional fishing rods for the lake. So I only fly fish in the rivers and on the open water. This year, going with you, I'm going to get my first dedicated walleye rod and reel. So that's exciting.
Hell yeah, we're gonna get you some Pimp Daddies, some Motown chicken. Those are the plastics. Those are the plastic worms that we use on the Detroit River. Pimp Daddy is a go-to.
Yeah.
Atomic chicken, Motown chicken, Wonder Bread.
Dang. Where do you get them from? Oh, I know about the Wonder Bread.
So
where do you like to shop those?
Yeah, Rogers is great. Cabela's does have some decent selection, and then there is
Wait, you're talking about RogersSportingGoods.com?
Yep. And then
that place. And for anybody that doesn't know about that, RogersSportingGoods.com is a gold mine for. They have deals of the day. I got my first pair of duck waders, camo waders from there. I mean, there's you can ammo. They have the greatest prices. They literally ship ammo or anything to your house, even though you choose like a week or two out. I've always gotten my stuff early.
Yeah, super
It's crazy.
fast. Yeah, super fast shipping. Yeah, you turned me on to them about the specifically about ammo, and then I couldn't believe it. But yeah, so they have a good selection, and then there's also a couple of local Michigan places that we order quite a bit of plastics from every year. So we like to keep the whole small business thing going and support local.
I'm pumped about the salmon. I'm pumped about the walleye. I think we're both set up pretty good for. I mean, you and your family already have endless supplies of stuff for the walleye. I mean, you live right on Lake St. Clair there, so that's
my dad's collection of walleye gear is unbelievable. It's like a toy. It's like a candy shop for fishermen. He has so much.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, he has a lot of things. And now speaking of walleye, so one of the things that I am looking to upgrade. So we have a nice Minn Kota on the front of the boat. It's a trolling motor. I bought the software already for the GPS, so it links up to the GPS for wireless controlling. And last year on the off season, I bought the wrong attachment for the wireless controlling. So I have the software for it, and I need to buy the right controller. That is definitely happening within the next few weeks because for those that have not had the pleasure of fishing at Detroit River, it's a very unique fishery. And part of that reason is because of the under the water current. So when somebody, and normally it's been me controlling the motor, you're moving anywhere between 1 to and it could be 300, 400 times a minute based on wind conditions and where you're fishing at. So it's constant movement, because it's really important when fishing Detroit River that your line is completely, vertical, as straight as possible, because once it hits the water within the first 6 feet, it then goes at a diagonal. So if your first 6 feet, if you can control that as best as possible being vertical, the chances of you getting a fish it's a huge, massive difference. But anyways, you're constantly maneuvering the trolling motor. So having a handheld instead of a foot pedal will be an absolute game changer. So that's probably one of the things I'm most looking forward to upgrading, for at least fishing wise.
Pro tip.
Yeah, pro tip. Yeah, I'm so pumped for you to get out there with us. Like it's a lot of fun.
I've never fished. So my entire life, I've lived within a half hour of a Detroit River. Have never fished the Detroit River.
Dude, and it's so fun too, because like we'll go down to Wyandotte and hundreds of boats, dude. Like it's literally like a party. Everyone's like outside their boats, gearing up, getting ready. And everyone's in like a solid mood, even though it's like, 4:30 in the morning. It's almost like a little bit of a party / tailgate. The boat ramp we go to it's only 2 ramps, so you can power load and all that. And it's pretty wild how many boats and how many trucks we get in and out of there so fast. It's a great time. It's a lot of fun.
Now, I said I fly fish rivers and traditional lakes, but Detroit River is not the river that I'm talking about. Detroit River is like a freight line bordering. It's in between Canada and the United States. Like it's not there's no areas to walk in and start fly fishing. I don't think so. At least I don't, not aware of anywhere you could just do that unless you're off the shore of one of the little islands or something like that. But no, it's considered to be like a big water fishery river. So
yeah, no, Detroit River
definitely in a boat.
Oh yeah. Oh, they don't even allow tubing or anything like that. The current's so strong. So unfortunately, every year there are casualties. It's pretty crazy, actually.
Sure.
But yeah, the current is so strong underneath the water. Most of the time, if someone goes in, the current actually drags them underneath, and usually does not have a happy ending. It's pretty wild. It kind of reminds you of the forces of nature.
Gotta be careful out there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the walleye.
How about turkey coming up here?
Gobble 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 gobble.
So, gobble 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 gobble. So last year I started with just a hen decoy, and I don't know how convincing it was. I had a turkey come in on it, and he either saw me or saw the decoy, something, and he didn't like it, so he skedaddled away. But when I changed over to you can't use like electronic decoys here, and so I have like a full strutted tom decoy where it's a weighted fan, and it's just like a weight where the fan pulls out. It's not there's not real feathers, but it comes out and then it kind of hooks on to the decoy, and so based on the wind, it looks like the fan's moving, and the rest of the decoy stays standard. Or stays put, and it's not a blow up. It's just it's a lightweight like full bodied tom, and that thing works, and it's crazy how it works. So I don't think I'm gonna change the decoy situation. I like going with that full strutter. If anything, I would go like a half strutted Jake or a new, like, spend some bucks on like a real nice like ready to rock hen. But I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with the decoy steam. What I am gonna do for turkey, some people talk about like a 410 camo shotgun. Right now I just use my 12 gauge Beretta A300. It's fine, but it's black. So I am thinking about either getting a new duck gun with 12 gauge and then using that because it'll be camo, or we'll see about the gun scene. But what I'm for sure going to do, I'll do it one day, but what I'm going to do this year for sure is the calls. So I have a box, which I'm going to keep using. The box has two different, has an old and a young cluck, and then there's I have one diaphragm, but I'm going to get a few different diaphragms, and I'm going to get a slate and use it. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on what it's called? A slated. Oh no.
Where you like scratch it?
Yeah, but what I'm blanking on what the name of it's called. Yeah, but I'm gonna get slate. Maybe try out slate and glass, but I think I'm gonna go with the slate. I can't think of what the name of it's called, but I would like that because depending on
slate call,
what you're getting reaction wise,
it's a slate call.
Slate, and it's called something. Is it? I thought it had a name, but I think when you're out there, depending on just like different lures, like what are the fish biting on today? Like what sound are they liking today? And then also your ability to use that call. So my ability and Justin's ability and someone else's ability to use a diaphragm probably sounds a little different. And I'm no good caller, so I need all the handicaps I can get. So easier to use, the better. But having different options to relate, I think is going to be helpful for me out there. I think that's all I'm gonna change for turkey this year. How about you?
For turkey, when I say I've been turkey hunting in the past, it's more or less like using what you have, getting into the woods, and just being out there. So, for instance, I've hunted in the past with the complete wrong ammo. So when you were like, hey, these are, things you must have. And one of the things was the right ammo, which, by the way, I can't believe how expensive it is for the amount of shots you get.
Turkey ammo is really expensive. There's some stuff that's like $15 a round.
Yeah, it's wild.
Tungsten, it's ridiculous.
So I bought the right ammo. I already had the right choke. I have a nice camo Mossberg shotgun. I am probably.
Oh wait, let's go back to the choke thing.
Ooh.
So if you're, a lot of times the shotguns that you have come with multiple chokes. Some people can use a full choke, and it's fine. And most shotguns come with a full choke option. I typically shoot a modified for duck and skeet and stuff like that, but you can get away with a full choke, but highly recommend going out there and investing the, 50 to, I forgot how much my Beretta choke was. It was less than 100 though, I'm pretty sure, to get more of a tight pattern to take off that turkey's head. So just in consideration, but you already had that because I think your gun came with what, 5 different chokes?
Yeah, it was at least 5. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And the crazy thing is when I first got this shotgun many years ago, it was a gift from my dad. I didn't even know what these chokes were, and I've never used a turkey one. But last time or a couple times ago that we took a trip up north, I found my chokes, and I know I have a turkey one, so that is awesome.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so Brandon, for me, for turkey hunting, like I know you have your own decoys, but I do need to grab a couple of decoys. You and I have been talking a lot about them. We're still kind of shopping around, getting some ideas going. I think I need. I have spring turkey. I mean, I didn't buy this intentionally for spring turkey, but I already have some outerwear. But it's not warm enough, and I know those first couple of weeks, even the first maybe month, 2 months, it's going to be cold. So I might have to think about that, invest in some money in some warmer turkey clothing. And then you're gonna have to help me here, Brandon. But the thing where you set it up and it's like it's kind of like a where it
portable ground blind.
Yeah, portable. Thank you. Yeah, so I need to get one of those. And then
well, and also the portable ground blind, like some people hunt out of what you're thinking of, like with the deer hunting ground blinds, but to put that up and take it down and be on them, because you want to be set up in the morning if you can find out where they're roosting. But then during the day, like a lot of times you're going where you're trying to get in front of where the flock is moving to. So opening and closing one of those things is kind of a pain. So what Justin's talking about is a couple, not real tall stakes, but you can put out either a one section of burlap, or they make real lightweight camo. Kind of looks like leaves, like just a bunch of leaves, but it's like a strip of it, and it goes in these little stakes. So then you're hidden, but maybe your head and your gun, they're just like propped right on top of it, and you have a nice backdrop and stuff like that. So, and then when the flock's done and moving, you can just pull those 4 stakes out or whatever, roll it up, and get on the move and reset up accordingly.
Yes, one of those. Thank you, because I didn't even know what
But
it was called.
It's not an expensive investment either. It's certainly less than $100 for sure.
And then I have a diaphragm, I have a box call, and a slate friction call already. But I don't have when we were talking about like what you locator calls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I do not own a locator call, and being that we can't use electronic calling, I can't use like our Predator one for that we use for like coyote. So I'm gonna have to get one of those.
So I have a horned owl call, and I have a crow call, and I'm terrible. My crow call when I went, no, I'm sorry, the owl call. So there's like a box one that sounds like the whoo whoo, you know, and it's great, and it projects nice, but it's like this big box looking thing, and I don't have one of those. Those are super nice. I have more of it looks like a duck call, and when I blow it, I'm just terrible at it. I can't even use it because I think they'll be more freaked out by anything. But
they'll be like, "Oh, that's Brandon Molson going at it again."
Oh, just some ducks landing in the pond over there. Like that's what I sound like on it. And so, yeah, I forgot about the indicator calls. If I want to get that owl box. Jimmy has it, so we used that last year, and that just worked real well.
I mean, got a turkey.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it's nice though, because where we're at here in Michigan, a lot of times, you don't necessarily need it at the end of the night for sure. In the morning, it's nice to double check where you're going if you didn't get there in the evening. But in the evening, a lot of times the owls start lighting up the forest anyway and getting those shot gobbles going for you.
I cannot wait to get gobblers going.
I'm
really looking for. So I love fishing, and the walleye run's going to happen. Can't wait to be part of it. But I'm so looking forward to spring turkey. Cannot wait.
Yeah, there's just something about being in the woods, and all of a sudden those shot gobbles start going off, and it's just.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh my goodness.
So what's
any other upgrades there?
No, I got full
That's it for
face
me.
camo, and yeah, anything else for you for turkey?
No, not for turkey. We talked about fishing. I'm excited to get out there with got the trout, and I've got the 8-weight set up. Got some ice fishing stuff this year. That was different from last year. Last year's ice wasn't very good. And now I think we're getting up on time now, but for deer season, what are you what are a few things off the top of your head that you're gonna upgrade this year for 2021 season?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about buying a helicopter, and then buying a parachute, and then jumping out of the helicopter to land where I want to go.
Duck season. Hey, helicopter. I've seen a helicopter go over the refuge before, and it rips up like 10,000 ducks just start flying around. It's one of the greatest things that could ever happen while you're positioned well near the refuge.
Remember when we were in
helicopter would be awesome.
Remember when we were in the corn section over at Harson's, and I think they were doing some work on some utility work for the managed area when those trucks drove through that like 2-track road, and it brought up like those thousands. Remember all the birds, like
Swarms.
thousands, yeah, like
Oh yeah,
thousands of ducks. That was, I mean, it was off in the distance where they were in the refuge, but it was really cool to see.
definitely. You heard some gunshots though going.
Oh yeah, there was definitely
It
some
got him
parties at.
flying.
Oh yeah, there definitely was some parties at
Down
Capitalized.
birds, baby.
Oh yeah, definitely. But dude, duck season, like, I was super grateful. So I've been goose hunting. Duck hunting is something very new to me, and so Brandon let me join him on several hunts this year, and we were either using his boat or he has some friends on Harson's that allowed him to use their boat. But dude, a mud motor, like,
Yeah,
and just
gotta
put
have
it,
mud motor next
yeah,
year.
it has to happen. So
Yeah,
Brandon loves Facebook Marketplace. He's been sending me some really solid. So I've been thinking about getting a boat anyways, like a used duck boat would be sweet. But they've been selling the mud motors separately, and I think putting the mud motor on the back of your boat, because your boat, dude, your boat is perfect. Like you don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be great to invest in a $40,000-$50,000 duck boat, but right now, do I need that? No, because it's such a new hobby to me.
no,
And dude, and then I think about like, yeah, the mud motor would be sweet, but first of all, I need everything. Like I need duck, I need the outerwear for duck, I need the right waders. This year. All right, guys. Brandon and I are, again, we do what we need to do just to get out there. But just to give you an idea of what I was wearing this year, so I was wearing my fly fishing waders, wearing them, putting on a pair of either muck boots or hunting boots, and sliding my feet into them, and then wearing out like pretty much spring looking outerwear over my waders. And then just trying
camo.
to camo, and then just hopping into the thick the thick marsh out at Harson's. So I need the right outerwear, I need the right I need everything when it comes to that. Like, dang man, I do need a couple more jobs.
Well, no, it worked, and you got some ducks down. So, that's all you need to do. You need to get out there and experience it, and then make decisions. That's my whole point at the beginning of this. Get out there and make decisions on what to upgrade and when to upgrade it, and how much you want to spend based on the experience you had. And yeah, so I think I need to get a mud motor for that boat. So that was the first time running my own boat, and it's a 14-foot. I got a 7.5 horse for it originally, but didn't get the 7.5 horse working. So I put a 4 horse on it, and it gets us moving. But as you can imagine, 2 grown men, guns, bags, decoys, 14-foot boat, and a 4 horse. You're not breaking any speed records by any means.
Especially at
So
the beginning of the season when the
grateful
when the
that it got
green,
us there.
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like at the beginning of the
Well,
season,
especially when and it's tight. Oh, at the beginning of the season when the weeds aren't broken up yet, and you're trying to get out there for early teal, because in teal the first 2 weeks. So in Michigan, duck season starts in like middle of October, but the whole month of September is goose season, and the first 2 weeks of September are early teal, and you have to get out in the marsh to find teal, and no boats have traveled out there yet. So it's very difficult to get anywhere without a mud motor. Even a regular outboard, even if we had that 7.5 or 10 horse or whatever, it's a mess. So I need a mud motor, and then I need to get a new pair of waders. So it's been through a couple seasons, and I've hunted hard in those things. I fished hard in them. I did all, and so I need to get a new pair of nice waders. I like my coat. Off Facebook Marketplace, found a guy that was a Browning rep selling his every year he has to buy everything basically, but he buys it in large and then goes to shows, and so everything had tags, and I got it 20% off wholesale price. So what wholesale is half off, and then 20% off that. So I bought a bunch, like a whole everything Browning, just because of that. And everything is brand new and it's worked phenomenally. So I'm keeping all that. I'm going to upgrade the gun, upgrade the waders, and throw a mud motor on there. So that's going to be. You're right, Justin. I need to get out there and make some more money to make that happen.
I did. I did find on Facebook Marketplace this year. So Brandon came up to Oscoda to go goose hunting, and we went over to Tuttle Marsh, and I was able to find. I think it was 18 goose decoys with different like action platforms. Really, I mean, most of them were in nice condition for a fraction of the cost of. I mean, I was probably somewhere around $700-800, and I got it for under $200 for all this stuff. And they're pretty nice.
Oh yeah, no, the decoy spread that. Oh yeah, so I guess that's for duck, and then goose. It'd be nice to get a few dozen silhouettes to increase the spread count. And then like I didn't participate in late season goose this year, but like a white, so you can get like a snow cover for your layout blind. And then I don't have any. This is kind of going into deer and goose, but I don't have any like white camo.
Yeah, same.
So or just white in general. So white snow pants or white bibs, and then a white like camo or just all white jacket, hunting jacket. I think I'm going to do that this year. Because there were some times in the snow where we hunted quite a bit in the snow in a blind, but this coming year there might be times where I'm going to be up in either a tree stand or a climber, and I need to have that white camo on.
More money, more clothes.
Anything else with waterfowl?
Ground blind, like one of those lay down ground blinds for field hunting.
Oh yeah, you got a coffin blind.
Yep, coffin blind.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna do some serious goose hunting with some of the permission that you got this year.
Yes.
For next year.
Yes.
For this coming year.
Yeah. So a ground blind, and then I don't have any duck decoys. So, and I know we hunt together and you have plenty, but it's always nice to have your own gear. Yeah, man, you just made me think, like, I'm going to need to buy a bunch more outerwear now. I don't know. Maybe I'll start my own OnlyFans account, see what happens.
It's one way to make money. Oh my goodness.
I don't think many people would pay for that, so that's probably not an option. Yeah, no, I think that's it for waterfowl. I mean, dude, like
I saw a funny meme about OnlyFans, and there was like this. It was a storefront. It said OnlyFans, and it was like a ceiling fan store. This is where you guys are spending all your money.
That's pretty good marketing.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and then yeah, I think that's it for waterfowl. I need to do it more. You know, I agree with you. With what I had this year, it worked. It was fun it was so fun getting out there. I know I definitely connected with a few birds, but you definitely helped. Yeah, so just keep on doing that, and where I can make investments and get better gear, I'm going to do so for waterfowl because it's a lot of fun.
We didn't even get into like the dog and the dog training and stuff, but neither of us, you have a dog that could potentially do stuff like that. That would be, now that's a whole different time commitment and money suck, but especially the local spots around here, if we were to get into that, you run dogs out there, it's just a different hunting experience.
So I'm going to see, so I own
different time commitment.
Oh yeah, different. Yeah. So I have a golden retriever, batshit crazy, a lot of energy, very intelligent. So I'm actually going to be using him for shed hunting this year and doing some work in the woods, and then we'll kind of see how he adjusts. We'll see. I definitely think he's smart enough. It's just, yeah, I mean, it comes down to training. So I've looked into it, but not enough to speak to it. But it is something that's on my mind because some of the stuff he did this year alone without even training, I was like mind blown by it. So he took off. Real quick side story here. So Lauren, my girlfriend, she got her first deer, a doe, and we let him outside to go to the bathroom, and he took off and he followed the entire bloodline trail all the way through the woods. So it was really cool. He came back, his mouth's all covered in blood, and it was, I thought it was awesome. Lauren didn't think it was too funny, but it was really cool to see him,
savage.
yeah, naturally just attack. And yeah, he's a smart dog. So we'll see. I gotta do more waterfowl hunting, and because that's definitely an investment of time, effort, energy, and money to get into something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then, dude, I feel like
to wrap it up.
Dude, I feel like.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I feel like the upgrades for deer, for whitetail, like I feel like its own conversation. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should. I think because we're talking about all sorts of different stuff for that. I think we can cover all the seasons here, and we'll leave whitetail upgrades for next time.
Yeah, I think because I'm looking at my list of things, and I have quite a list, especially just over the last couple of months through all the the podcast and the reading and stuff you shared with me and vice versa, and just I feel like the list is it's definitely never getting smaller.
Oh my goodness, no. Different stands and different camera setups and I mean just guns and bows and different seasons of stuff, and just whitetail season is so much longer than any of the other seasons. In Ohio, it's 135 days. You know how many different types of clothes you need for the 135 days?
Yeah, for sure.
So, totally different. How about we do that next time? I like that idea. We've covered a lot of ground here, and of course, there's more stuff that comes up. If anybody out there has any suggestions for some of the things that we brought up there, and or any products or accessories or whatever that you think we should take a look at or try out, do a little out of the box and give it a go out in the field, please let us know. Bring it to our attention. We love trying new things and making new connections. As always, if you find yourself making your way over to tracksandsign.com and see something cool either for yourself or as a gift to somebody else, all purchases, 10% of the overall amount gets donated over to QDMA, NDA, or Ducks Unlimited. And again, if you have any ideas or associations or causes that are providing for hunters, anglers, experience out there, let us know. We love to help support as well. And I think that's it. That's all I got. What about you, Justin?
Oh, beautiful. Well done. Be sure to check us out online, especially social at Tracks and Sign. Oh, this is super exciting real quick. So we're officially now on the Apple podcast platform. That was yeah, dude. That's an awesome win. So we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We have Instagram at Tracks and Sign. So in right now YouTube, we don't have 100 subscribers yet, but we're definitely moving in a very good forward progression with that. So if you just search Tracks and Sign in YouTube, you will find us, but it's not YouTube/Tracks and Sign yet, but we're getting there. Brandon Molson. Yeah. So
and then once we get to we're angling in on 2,000 followers on Instagram. Once we do, we're going to do a nice giveaway on there as well. You heard it first on this podcast.
Yeah, so be sure to check us out at Tracks and Sign. And yeah, Brandon, awesome conversation. I'm fired up. I can't stop thinking about all the money that I need to buy everything that we want to buy. So I'm probably going to get off this podcast and put my resume on Indeed.
Get to work.
Yeah. So.
All right, sir.
All right.
Thanks for the time, Justin.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
Brandon.
you, everybody, for tuning in. Till next time. Take care.